Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
And
therapist.
together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion,
In our
of
opinion.
course. What's the topic, Bob?
Well, I have patients that come up, and I'm sure you do too, Brad.
Yeah, of course.
And a lot of people think that one of their legs is longer than the other, and sometimes it is. It's not unusual at all.
Right,
And a lot, you
right.
can be born with it, or maybe after a surgery, one leg is longer.
Get a new hip or new knee.
But
Sometimes
quite often they aren't.
Yeah?
I have a lot of patients who think they are longer because they feel different, and the fact is we measure and they're the same length.
Right.
But I thought we'd show you today how we measure.
Sure.
And it's been quite a few years, but I actually at one point was going to write a paper on this, and I did the study, and at the time this was the most accurate way to tell the length of whether one leg is longer than the other. Now the way that Brad learned, and one way that I learned too, is that you actually measure from, well, let's take the spine.
Sure. Let's take the spine.
Throw it to you, Brad?
Yeah. Oh! All right. The ASIS,
Yes.
anterior superior
Iliac
iliac
spine.
spine. The ASIS, which is this point right here. You have two of them.
So on me, here's my pelvis, and I can feel it on me.
All right. So we're looking
Okay.
there, right where Bob's middle pointer finger is there. That he's got a finger right there where mine is.
So you measure from that all the way down to the inside ankle, right?
Yep. The medial
Okay.
malleolus, we call it. Otherwise, the bump on the
Yeah,
inside.
and then you have to measure the other side too. Now that's one way to do it. I think it's okay to be accurate, but this way is supposed to be even more accurate.
Okay.
So very simple. What you do is you have the person stand up. Brad's going to face the wall. Probably take your shoes off, Brad.
Oh.
Get ready for the stink. Now what we have here is, we've got a couple shimmies, is what I would call them. What would work the best is if you have little pieces of wood that were maybe an 1/8 inch thick,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just using something else here that's an 1/8 inch thick, and we have two of them. And these are going to come in handy, and I'll show you why in just a second. Okay, come on over, Mr. Heineck.
Yes, sir.
All right, so he faces the wall. You want to make sure that his weight is distributed equally between the feet, not one more than the other, and that his legs are straight. He's showing good posture because you don't want to have the knees bent at all. And what you do, this does take a little bit of palpation skills, but what I'm looking for is the top of his pelvis. So this guy is oriented the same as Brad is right here. I'm going to just be taking my fingers and going in like this and finding the top of his pelvis.
Can you see that, Nancy, through his arm? Okay.
And if it's level, I'll be able to see my fingers are level. But if one's higher than the other, you'll see that one of my hands is higher than the other. So let's on Brad. Oh, let's hang this back up again. You see this okay, Nancy? Am I out of the way?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to poke in, and some people have a little more adipose than others. But I can feel fat, yeah. I'm pushing in, and I'm on the top of the pelvis, and I can see with Brad, looking at it, it's pretty level. But now let's say, where's our shimmies? Let's say Brad let's put underneath this side. Okay, go ahead. Let's put both under there, actually, Brad.
What's the measurement?
That would be a 1/2 inch off then.
Okay. Raising my right
Right
leg
side up
a
a 1/2 inch. And I can see that right away. I got my fingers here. I can see this, my right arm is higher, my right hand is higher than my left arm. So to correct this, very simply what you would do is, if he's longer on the right leg, you'd actually have him wear a heel cup or something in his left heel so as to raise him up. We generally recommend that if there's a 1/2 inch difference, that you'd only correct it a 1/4 inch. You wouldn't correct the full 1/2 inch. And generally what I do is I just have people take a piece of carpet, we have carpet laying around, and we just cut it out in the shape of a heel, and we put it in their shoe and we have them try it.
Sure.
It's just a cheap way to try it. And you see, were they having back pain, were they having knee pain, were they having some type of pain that they think might have been attributed to the longer leg? Give it a try, see if it takes away the pain. If it doesn't, nothing lost, you can just give it a go. You were saying, Brad, most of your patients didn't have any luck with this.
Well, a lot of times, no. Part of the reason, I think psychologically, the person is thinking, well, because usually we talk about if you need a heel lift, well, what do? You have 5 pair of shoes, do you have to buy 5 lifts? Or do you take one lift out and every time you put a new pair of shoes on, you gotta keep
Kind of a
transferring that
hassle.
lift? Yeah. But no, I've had it been successful, but in my experience, probably most of them have not, majority, maybe 75%. Again,
It's been a rare event for me too. It's usually, I had one person who had a huge discrepancy between the two, and in her case, it did help, and she was still wearing it years later when I saw her.
sure, yeah.
A lot of people think their legs are different lengths after like knee replacement or hip replacement, and quite often it is not.
Yeah.
And I will measure like that to show them that, you know, look, it's the same.
Mhm.
It just feels longer because of the surgery or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention, Brad, I hope I'm not taking away your thunder here.
Well, yeah, you are, but that's all right. Take it away.
There are some practitioners, should we say, that seem to like to take joy in telling you that one of your legs is longer than the other, and that they can do adjustments and maybe correct it.
Oh.
So if I'm laying down, Brad, and you might have to be on the other side, Brad, over here. But if you can just shift your hips, and my right leg is going to look longer than my left leg right now, doesn't it, Brad?
Yeah, so if he's going this way
Yeah,
with his
my
hips,
pelvis.
yeah, even if your leg is, I'm gonna go down here, look. Can you get me in there? Oh yeah, we've got at least an inch difference.
Yeah. So
and,
that
and
and
it's, knees are straight, now go ahead and shift,
yeah.
you're fixed.
So yeah, they'll do an adjustment on your spine, and they can just pull on your leg to kind of make it look like they.
Maybe that's where that old saying, "you're pulling my leg" must have come from.
Brad, that's brilliant.
It's a haiku. We're
So-
good, Bob.
So
But no,
that's.
seriously, that's definitely something that you cannot.
I bet you pulling
yeah.
your leg, it didn't come from that. All right, so that's our video on leg length discrepancy. By the way, if you're 40, 50 or older, you're going to want to subscribe to us because we provide videos for people who are trying to stay healthy and fit from that age and beyond.
You bet, all the way up to 103.
I've had 103.
I know, that's my oldest is 103, my patient, yeah, so.
Peace out.